at the TP-Link AC 1900 Wi-Fi range extender. Now, if you have a look at my Wi-Fi here and wait for it to focus, you'll see that I've got a pretty good Wi-Fi connection here. It's called the Internet's, and we've got about 4 bars. Now, if you're not lucky enough to have good Wi-Fi, you can get this. This is the range extender itself, and there it is. It looks very nice. You can see on the top there, it's sort of got a shiny triangle arrangement, black triangles there. It shines and reflects. It's very nice. It also comes with a stand so that you can stand it up on its side like that if you wish to give it a smaller profile. Around the back we can also find, I'll just unplug it so I can show you this, we've got the 5 Ethernet ports on the back. These are gigabit, by the way, so you can hook up several devices here and they can talk to each other on gigabit speeds. You've also got in the back here, you've got the reset button, so if you want to reset it back to factory defaults. You've got the, that's better, it's a bit closer, you've got the RE button. So the RE button helps with WPS connectivity, and then you've got the LED light which turns the LEDs off, which is good for if you don't want them flashing away in your eyes all the time. An on-off button and the power, which obviously comes with it. You get these antenna which screw into position and they can bend around. There's 3 of them, as you can see. It's pretty obvious that is, and it's a fairly nice looking low profile unit. What I'm going to do now is take you through the setup of it and just to show you how easy it is. Right, so I'm going to power it on. You see that the power LED is flashing there, and we've got several other LEDs here too. Now, I'm going to take you through the setup process. You can set it up and connect it up in one of many ways. It comes with a small Ethernet cable which you can plug from here into your laptop and set up the config that way. But for most people, you're going to want to probably set it up via wireless because it's just easier. So, over here on the right hand side, we've got the TP-Link extender. That is a Wi-Fi hotspot that's been beamed out by this new router. So I'm going to connect to that now, and you'll find it's wide open network and it connects up perfectly fine. In the address bar at the top, I'll just type that in for you. Okay, we browse to tplinkrepeater.net, which is actually talking to the repeater on my left hand side now. It will ask you for a username and password. This is default, but you can change this later on, and it's just admin and admin to start off with. So bearing in mind now I am connected, I'll take a screenshot of all this because I know it's quite tricky to see on this video. The first thing it's going to do is ask you for a new password, so I'm going to put a new username and password in for you. So let's keep it with admin, and then I'll put the password. It's a fairly simple one, and then I will confirm that. Okay, so the setup is fairly easy, as you can see here. So the first thing to do is select your country or region. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to select UK. I'm going to have to select all the way down it. United Kingdom. Click next. And then it'll find the 2.4 gigahertz host network. Now this I've found picks up a lot of local Wi-Fi networks. There's a huge amount of Wi-Fi networks where I am, so especially 2.4 gigahertz. So 2.4 gigahertz, you can see mine is the strongest here. I've got a couple here, and then I've got the neighbours and a few others down the bottom here. Seems to have picked up some other Wi-Fi hotspots from further afield. I'm going to connect it to my 3 bar, because it's in the garage, Wi-Fi hotspot, and I'm going to put in the password. Okay, so password has been entered, and now it's going to look for a 5 gigahertz host network. There aren't many of these around. The 5 gigahertz isn't used a great deal by a lot of the routers that are given away free by ISPs, but you can choose a 5 gigahertz host network as well. I don't have one, so I'm going to skip on to the next stage of that, and press skip. Okay, so we've got the extended Wi-Fi hotspot name. Now, I'll tell you, 99% of the time you're going to keep that exactly the same name, because it's a bit nuts if you don't. It just means that your devices that are already set up with the relevant password for your Wi-Fi and the relevant Wi-Fi name will continue to connect to exactly the same Wi-Fi name and exactly the same Wi-Fi password. So you can see here it's going to set up a 2.4 gigahertz SSID and a 5 gigahertz SSID. I know I'm speaking a load of techno gobbledygook here, but it basically extends your existing Wi-Fi network and rebeams it back out through these 3 antennae. That's all you need to know. So I'm going to click next on this, and there we go. We can see here, I'm going to block out the password, which is down the bottom here, but we've got the router. This is my broadband router that I've had for a long time. It's beaming out 2.4 gigahertz. It's not beaming out 5 gigahertz. The range extender, which is on my left, is beaming out 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz, all nicely secure. And that is the extent of the setup. You can twiddle around with a few more settings, which I will show you a bit later. But to be honest with you, that is all you need to do. You can customize the Wi-Fi names if you wish, but there really isn't any point. I continue to use exactly the same Wi-Fi hotspot username and password, hotspot name and password, and then all my devices will just see the signal getting stronger. What you then do is you position the TP-Link range extender a little bit further away, obviously further away from your existing Wi-Fi router. So if there's a dead spot in your house or your garage, let's say, put it halfway between the router and where the dead spot is, and then it will beam and basically amplify that signal further on. Here's the box, by the way, on the chair here. You can see here it does dual band. It does this 2.4 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz. It's got 700 MW high power. It's got gigabit ports, easy to set up as you've seen before, and it's got the 600 megabits per second plus a 1300 megabits per second, which is where it gets the 1900 megabits per second wireless speed, which is concurrent 2.4 gigahertz 600 megabits per second and the 5 gigahertz 1300 megabits per second. So the 5 gigahertz is suitable for sort of higher speed stuff, but it just depends on how fast your broadband connection is in the first place. Anyway, so that is basically the setup of this router here, or now this range extender that you can see here, and it will give you the simultaneous wireless speed that we mentioned here. It's very easy to set up, I must admit, and you can see here now on my lower right that I have the internets, but it's slightly renamed. It's called the internets 5G. I can connect to my original internets, and at the start of this video we had just 4 bars, but now you can see here, it's still showing 4 bars, just 1 minute, but the internet 5G one is 5 bars. This one still shows 4 for some odd reason, but it does amplify your existing wireless signal, and I can still get online with the amplified signal that I've just created. So that is a very quick overview of this, the TP-Link range extender.